Hello, Warriors fans. We are back with another deep dive into the latest updates on our Golden State Warriors, and there's quite a bit to unpack. First off, before we jump into all the action, make sure you are staying tuned and keeping up with every single update. The season has been full of twists and turns, and if you want to stay on top of all the developments, you need to be paying attention every single game. It's been a challenging stretch, but there are still plenty of opportunities for the team to turn things around, and the next few weeks could be absolutely crucial. Let's start by looking at what's been happening on the court recently. The Warriors have been navigating a tough period with several key players missing games due to rest and injuries. It's been testing their depth and resilience. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and some of the other starters have been managed carefully, especially during back-to-back games. And while it's understandable to prioritize long-term health, the short-term results have been tough to watch. The team has struggled to find consistency, and there have been games where the bench players had the chance to shine but didn't quite deliver at the level fans were hoping for. One of the biggest challenges has been the impact of injuries. Jimmy Butler's absence has been significant, and now, with Jonathan Kaminga out indefinitely with a knee injury, the Warriors are being forced to rethink how they approach the remainder of the regular season. Every game matters, and each loss can shift the momentum in ways that are hard to recover from. Managing these injuries is critical, and while resting players is part of the strategy, the team still needs to maintain competitiveness in each matchup to keep playoff positioning in their favor. Looking at recent performances, the numbers show a mixed picture. There have been moments of promise, but overall, the scoring and rebounding have not been where they need to be, especially when the high-scoring player only puts up 13 points. It highlights the need for contributions from multiple players and the importance of having consistent offensive options beyond the starting lineup. With key players out, this is exactly the time for bench talent to step up, but unfortunately, the results have not always reflected that potential. This creates pressure on the coaching staff to find rotations that maximize effectiveness while still protecting the health of veteran players. In addition to injuries, the trade deadline looms as a critical factor shaping the team's strategy. There are questions about who will be moved, who will be retained, and how the front office can leverage expiring contracts to improve the roster. The flexibility that comes with certain contracts could open opportunities to bring in players who can immediately address weaknesses, like rebounding or scoring depth. These decisions are not just about the short-term gains, but also about positioning the team for the playoffs and potentially even major acquisitions in the next offseason. A bright spot in this otherwise challenging stretch is the possibility of adding a player like Drummond. His rebounding ability could immediately address one of the team's weaknesses, and with the Sixers making him available, it represents a chance to strengthen the roster without giving up core players. While he might not contribute at the wing or from three-point range, his ability to dominate the boards can change how the team competes, particularly against bigger lineups. If the Warriors can make the right move here, it could be a pivotal addition, complementing their existing stars while providing the physical presence needed to compete at a higher level. Even with all the injuries and challenges, there's still plenty of excitement in the air. The next games present opportunities for the team to regain momentum and for players to prove their value. A win against a struggling opponent like the Utah Jazz can serve as a tune-up, allowing the Warriors to build confidence heading into tougher matchups. Every possession and every win counts more than ever, and the team has to capitalize on these moments to maintain positioning and ensure they enter the latter part of the season in a strong position. Beyond individual games, the broader picture includes potential trade maneuvers and the strategic management of contracts. Players like Kaminga and Butler carry significant value, and how the Warriors choose to leverage that value could have lasting implications. While injuries complicate these decisions, the right moves could provide both immediate reinforcement and long-term flexibility. Front office decisions now will shape not only the remainder of this season, but potentially the core structure of the team for years to come, which makes this stretch of games absolutely critical. On the court, execution remains key. The Warriors have to balance keeping players healthy with maintaining competitiveness. The coaching staff is being tested in their rotations and in how they motivate the bench players to contribute meaningfully. Games like the recent one against the Wolves highlight the delicate balance between strategy and performance. When starters are out, the team must find ways to compete through cohesion, smart decision-making, and taking advantage of matchups. The bench has to rise to the occasion, and young players need to demonstrate readiness to step into larger roles, because the season does not wait, and every game has ripple effects. While the team navigates these challenges, fans can still look forward to the creativity and excitement the Warriors bring on the court. The pace of the game, the flashes of brilliance from Curry and Green, and the potential for emerging talent to shine keep each game interesting. Even during stretches where results are not ideal, the opportunity for development and momentum building is present, which makes following the team at this point in the season particularly intriguing. There is hope in every matchup, and every game offers lessons that can be carried forward into critical moments later in the season. Finally, the upcoming stretch of games is about more than just wins and losses. It's about preparing for the playoffs, integrating players back from injury, and exploring potential trades that could strengthen the roster. The Warriors have a chance to reassess strategies, evaluate player performance under pressure, and make adjustments that could define the next several months. Fans should be ready for a mix of challenges and exciting developments as the team continues to navigate this pivotal period. The resilience of the players and the strategic vision of the front office will both be tested, and how they respond could set the tone for the rest of the season. As we move further into this stretch of the season, the pressure is mounting for the Warriors, and every game has become a test of both strategy and stamina. The back-to-back situations continue to complicate the rotation, and with key players like Steph Curry and Draymond Green still being carefully managed, the responsibility falls on younger and bench players to maintain competitiveness. It's a delicate balancing act for the coaching staff, having to protect veteran stars while also trying to keep the team in a winning mindset. Fans are watching closely because every misstep now can ripple through the standings, and every opportunity to secure a win becomes increasingly valuable. One of the recurring challenges has been the uneven scoring and rebounding contributions. When your top scorer only manages 13 points in a game, it exposes gaps in the offensive structure and highlights the reliance on the core starters. With the bench not fully stepping up yet, the Warriors are being reminded of the importance of depth and how critical it is for all players to contribute consistently. These stretches are not just about winning one game. They're about proving that the team can survive adversity and maintain cohesion, even when injuries force adjustments to the lineup. Jonathan Kaminga's absence continues to be a major storyline. As a player with both high upside and expiring contract value, his situation directly impacts trade considerations. Teams evaluating potential acquisitions are watching closely, and the Warriors' management is faced with difficult decisions. Do they maintain him for the remainder of the season and hope for a healthy return? Or do they explore trade opportunities to leverage his contract and open flexibility for other moves? These decisions will shape the roster not only for the playoffs, but also for the off-season and beyond, which makes this period incredibly high stakes. In terms of potential reinforcements, Andre Drummond's availability presents a compelling opportunity. His rebounding ability alone could stabilize the team's interior presence, particularly against opponents with bigger lineups. While he might not be a three-point threat or versatile defender at the wing, his capacity to control the boards and provide physicality could immediately address one of the Warriors' most glaring weaknesses. If acquired, Drummond could relieve some of the pressure on the existing frontcourt, allowing Curry and Green to focus on their strengths without being overextended. The timing is critical because integrating a player like this during a high-pressure stretch requires careful management and clear role definitions. Looking at the broader trade landscape, the next 10 days are poised to be hectic. Expiring contracts, injury statuses, and trade rumors are all colliding, creating a fluid and unpredictable environment. The Warriors, with a mix of high-value expiring contracts and young talent, have multiple levers to pull. Jimmy Butler's situation adds another layer of complexity, as his presence on the roster and potential trade value can influence not only short-term performance, but also future flexibility. The front office must weigh immediate gains against long-term strategy, balancing the urgency of winning now with the opportunity to position the team for continued success in coming seasons. On the court, the execution has to remain precise. Rotations must be adjusted dynamically to accommodate resting starters, integrating bench players effectively, and managing minutes to avoid further injury risks. The Warriors have to maximize every possession, especially in games where the margin for error is slim. Young players need to step into bigger roles, and veterans must maintain efficiency even while being rested periodically. It's a test of both coaching acumen and player adaptability, and it will likely define the team's trajectory as the regular season progresses. The next set of matchups is particularly significant. Games against teams like the Utah Jazz, which on paper may seem like easier wins, actually serve as critical opportunities to build momentum, refine rotations, and integrate players returning from injury. The Warriors must capitalize on these opportunities because upcoming contests against higher-tier teams, such as the Detroit Pistons or other playoff contenders, will be far less forgiving. Momentum is essential, and each victory in this period could set the tone for a stronger run as the playoffs approach. Beyond individual matchups, the strategic management of contracts and trade possibilities remains a focal point. The Warriors' ability to maneuver expiring contracts like Kaminga's and Butler's offers significant flexibility in acquiring the pieces they need. Whether it's a rebound specialist, a third scoring option, or additional depth on the wing, these transactions could transform the roster dramatically. The trade deadline will likely bring surprises, and how the Warriors position themselves could determine whether they enter the playoff stretch as a contender or a team forced to patch gaps reactively. While injuries have presented challenges, they also create opportunities for emerging talent to shine. Players who might not have seen significant minutes earlier in the season now have the chance to prove they belong on a competitive roster. It's a test of readiness and mental toughness because every possession counts, and fans are watching closely to see who can step up under pressure. These stretches of adversity often define the identity of a team, revealing both the strengths and weaknesses that will carry forward into the playoffs. Financial flexibility also plays a crucial role in shaping strategy. Expiring contracts, upcoming free agents, and the potential to clear salary space create avenues for maneuvering. The Warriors must consider both immediate gains and long-term positioning, evaluating how each move will affect roster balance, chemistry, and future trade possibilities. Even minor adjustments in these areas can have cascading effects, influencing not only the remainder of this season, but the team's trajectory for the next several years. Another critical element is maintaining team morale and focus. Injuries, losses, and trade speculation can all impact the locker room, and the coaching staff must ensure players remain motivated and committed. This is particularly important for younger players who may be thrust into larger roles unexpectedly. The ability to maintain cohesion, keep energy levels high, and sustain competitive intensity in the face of adversity will likely determine the Warriors' success in the upcoming stretch. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The foundations of the NBA landscape are trembling as whispers of a franchise-altering move begin to leak from the inner circles of the league. While the Golden State Warriors have never been shy about their ambitions, the latest rumblings suggest they are currently orchestrating what could be described as the most audacious all-in maneuver in the history of professional basketball. At the center of this storm is none other than the Greek freak himself, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Speculation has reached a fever pitch following reports that the two-time MVP has finally signaled his openness to a change of scenery. For years, the bond between Giannis and the city of Milwaukee seemed unbreakable, a rare display of modern-day loyalty. However, the allure of the Bay Area's winning culture and the prospect of a late-career partnership with the greatest shooters to ever play the game may have finally tipped the scales. Insiders suggest that a verbal yes has been communicated, effectively lighting the fuse on a trade package that would require the Warriors to hollow out their roster and future assets to make the math and the talent work. The logistical hurdles are immense. Yet the mood in the Warriors' front office is described as one of calculated desperation. They are reportedly prepared to put every chip on the table. Young prospects, a mountain of unprotected first-round picks, and perhaps even established veterans who have been staples of their championship runs. It is a gamble that defies conventional team-building logic, a move that signals the end of the bridge to the future and a total commitment to the immediate present. Critics argue that such a trade would leave the Warriors dangerously thin, but proponents see a vision of unstoppable dominance. Imagine a defensive scheme anchored by Antetokounmpo's wingspan, paired with the gravity and spacing provided by Golden State's perimeter threats. It is a basketball fever dream that is quickly becoming a terrifying reality for the rest of the Western Conference. If these rumors hold weight, we are no longer looking at a simple roster update. We are witnessing the birth of a super team that could redefine the power dynamics of the sport for years to come. The league waits with bated breath to see if the trigger will truly be pulled on this historic gamble. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.